All right, so that one is leaving. This one limped here. This one is here for a clutch and AC knobs. We'll show you this a little bit later in the video. Very, very easy fix. We sell a bunch of these in the store. I'm gonna show you how to do it so you don't have to pay anybody to do it. Very simple. This one, clutch is so bad. Watch this. I release the clutch, release the clutch. Clutch is all the way up. Completely off the clutch. It's so nice to work on these S2000s that people absolutely love. Just like the one that just left. He's so in love with the car. Really wanted it back running nice. So this one is getting the clutch, the AC knobs. So this is my car right here. If you've seen past videos, we've been playing with exhausts and headers and intakes. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm happy with the header. I think I've about perfected the header without putting another few hundred hours in it. I think the header's going to make, it's making the best power that we can make. It's making 240 to the wheels. The exhaust is 90%. I'm not 100% happy with it. That's why I don't drive the car. We eliminated the drone at 1900 RPMs, which as you hear right now, it's at about 2000, and there is no drone at all. When it comes down, there is a new drone, and it's at like 1600. But if you had the analyzer on right now at 1900, it's down to about 90 decibels, which is good. It was at like 110, 111. When it comes down to 1600, it's got a new drone. It's like a slightly different frequency, and it's in the 55 to 58 range. You might call me OCD. I'm just picky. I don't want to have something that looks fantastic that sounds like crap. This is probably the easiest job on your S2000. These knobs are the same, by the way, same part number. We sell them as a pair, so if you buy it, you're gonna get two. Easiest way, get a good grip on this thing, and you're just gonna pull it straight towards you. There you go. It's like the old radio knobs of the radios and stereos back in the day. It's got like a D shape, so you can't really mess it up. You see right there? You can't really mess it up. Same thing, just grip it, pull it straight towards you. You just gotta get a good grip of it. This one's falling apart, so it's hard to get a hold of. A piece just broke off there. Same thing, same knob for either one. Look how nice they look. There is aftermarket ones which I've seen, and they just don't look right. And the fact that this has the white in here, the light comes through there, and you see that little marker knob right there. So I like the way the OEM ones go. Same thing, kind of line it up, you'll feel it right, and then just push it straight on. Same on the temperature control. Just line up that D shape right there. Make sure it's kind of close. Kind of feel it right there. Well, this foam here is a perfect example. If you touch it, it's going to crumble. So this is the part of the shifter rebuild kit. We call it the master kit. So it comes with this foam, it comes with the rubber boot, the retainer, and then of course the parts underneath that wear out. The reason for this, so many people contact me and go, I don't know why it's in there, I'm going to just rip it out. This is to keep the sound down. Under here is the transmission, directly under there is obviously the transmission. This is to keep the sound echoing into the cab. It's surprisingly effective. This part over here is to keep the weather from getting into your transmission. I'm going to pull this off and show you, but this is very important to have this good condition rubber and a retainer ring. This all looks in good shape, but this foam, the only way to actually remove this without making a mess is just to stick your shop vac in there and vacuum it out. It comes out in pieces. Do you want to listen to music, or do you want to listen to the sweet sounds of the vacuum? All right, click below. Go. If you selected sweet sounds of the vacuum, you were correct. Look at that, he's got money coming back. That's what the new one should look like, by the way. It should be squishy and foamy. I'll put that in here in a minute. All right, while I'm selling you guys stuff in the store, drive shaft bolts, AP1s, these are the ones that are notorious for basically mangling coming out. The slot in here, the hex, is really short, and I feel that these bolts are soft. It's almost like you get a one-time shot to get them out. you get the perfect fitting tool in there, and it'll either break loose or you'll round out the inside and then it never wants to come off. So we sell a replacement set for those that's harder, better quality, and much cheaper than Honda. We have a set for the front and the back, so if you're doing it, go ahead and replace them both. So that's the bolt on the right. It actually came out, which is surprising. Usually they don't. But if you look here, you can see actually how much of our socket tool is being used. That's how far it goes in. And then ours right here is a 12.9. It's much harder, but when you put the tool in there, it goes in a little bit further. All right, transmission is down. So we're gonna replace that slide and the main seal. So somebody asked me about this again the other day. Why don't you clean the inside of the bell housing? Why don't you pressure wash that out or brake clean it or blow it out? You don't want that stuff in your lungs. There's a lot of material from the clutch disc that is really bad for you. It's not just the material. It is like fiberglass and asbestos and all kinds of stuff. You don't want that in your lungs. It's not going to disturb anything if it's not loose, if it's not wet. If it's wet and it's leaky, yes, clean it. But that dry stuff, leave that alone. You don't want that in your lungs. There we go. Looks like that is shot. Look at the fingers, how they're all the way in. It's like concaved. And we want to check that. It's a little wet over here. Doesn't look like it's the main seal, but we've got to look at that and see where that's coming from. Might just be a little bit from up top right there. A little bit wet right there. You see between the head on the block. Let me zoom in there. Got to keep an eye on that. Might be a slight head gasket leak, because it's not wet up top, it's just on the bottom. Look at the amount of material in there. Disc absolutely destroyed. Flywheel is really heavily burnt. Absolutely destroyed. Absolutely down to the rivets on both sides. Main seal, already taken that out. That is the trans seal. If you buy our clutch kit, the install kit, it comes with that. It comes with this, the main seal, of course, the slide, the boot, and enough Euro grease to get yourself into trouble. There's a nice new slide, and the main seal is back on the motor. Trans seal is in there, already cleaned. That shift fork, spines are cleaned, ready to go back together. He opted for the new AP1 flywheel, which is probably the way I would go. I mean, if you're bringing your car here, you want it doing right. You want it doing the way I would do it. This is the OEM S2000 pressure plate right here. Says Honda on it. We've already cleaned the surface, but I wanted to show you this real quick. This is the bearing. Nachi. This is the disc. Now we get so many people telling us, hey, Exedi make this. It's the exact same thing as Exedi. Exedi are OEM. Exedi do make OEM components. They don't make the S2000 clutch. They don't. This is an Exedi disc for the S2000. I'm going to kind of show you it here, side by side. I ordered one of these because these are getting expensive as all. These are pretty inexpensive. If you look at them side by side, that is not the same. It's not even close. Material is different. The whole bore looks different. This whole section looks different. This is a cast piece. This is a billet machine piece. These are a double spring. These are a single spring. These springs are already loose, which means they will make a noise. The back side of it right here, you see how this just has the pieces around? These are literally encapsulated right here. You see how the springs work on the OEM? It's a different piece. Do you guys see that? Quite a bit different. You can see kind of like there where it's worn. The new components make a big difference. These are OEM parts. We only use OEM parts. I've tried a few aftermarket ones, including the company that makes the brass one, and I don't like it as much as these parts. So clean it. Make sure you boil some water, not boil it, hot water. Put that in there so it'll expand and softens a little bit to install it so you don't break this. And then lather the whole thing with Euro grease. We have it all in the store. You can buy the whole kit. It comes with the grease and everything. shifter is back together. This is the foam right here, so it's going to go in, let's say, that direction. It fits in right up against. Our master kit includes this, but this one is actually surprisingly nice. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick clean. The tabs are good. The rubber is not deformed. It's pretty much centered. Let's go ahead and clean it. So the new rubber piece right here, I'm going to explain one of the reasons that we like to use this. His is in good shape, but I just want to show you. When it's new, this part here is centered. Over time, especially if you leave the car in gear, you'll see these, and it's permanently like pushed this way, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when everything is brand new, you want the shifter to feel the same resistance going this way, etc. Everything feels tighter. This helps with the tightness of the shifter too. When it's new, it's got some resistance and it's even all the way around. Like I say, you'll see this. If you pull your shifter apart and you look at yours and it's permanently like this, it just means the shifter is going to go that way easier than this way, and it just feels a little different. Again, we're going by just being a little bit picky, but when you want it absolutely perfect, this is just one of those things that really make a difference. Brand new boot, and of course it comes with a new ring when you get it as the master kit. There it is, nice and new. We'll go ahead and put that in, snap that down, line it up with the points. So you want 2 and 4 o'clock, 8 and 10 o'clock. You'll feel it kind of line up in there, right there. So one thing I want to show you, listen to this, when you put the clutch down, that metal on metal, it's something we see on a handful of S2000s. I'm going to show you it here in a minute. You might be able to see it without me climbing down there. The flash function is always fantastic. That hole right there, you see that? I'll put a little arrow there. It's supposed to have a little rubber pad on that, and that is to stop that metal on metal noise. When you push the clutch down, right, ready? I get my light in the right place. So when you push the clutch down, it's there, just metal. It just sounds kind of goofy, and if you're picky like me, you like that nice rubbery dull sound, well, we're going to try and come up with a solution there for you. It's been a really hard to find part. I'll update you once we get it, but we've got something coming. Hopefully it works. That is so much smoother, but that noise at the end, I'm going to try and fix that. So a little basic braking on the clutch. It's completely overkill, so it's nice just to do those first. So those first friction movements with no load on it. Shifter feels great. Look at those climate control buttons. Look how nice they are. So I know I've said this so many times, but nothing compares to this car. And I'm saying that from someone that owns a few other cars. So nice thing about having the shifter where it's nice, smooth and direct. The clutch feels nice. It just makes it a pleasure to drive. Nothing worse than having a really nice car and you press the clutch pedal down and it feels like you're sticking your foot in a bucket of sand. And of course you get the sound when you press it down. That drives me absolutely bonkers. I hate that. So look how smooth that is. Beautiful. He's gonna love it. What a fantastic these cars are. You guys probably follow our channel because we do a ton of S2000s. These are phenomenal cars if you can fit in them. I'm 6'2". I'm right on the edge of being able to fit in these cars. 6'3", you ain't gonna do it. 6'4", you're definitely not getting in one of these cars. But if you make it happen, if you can find one that's a nice example, this is one of those cars that is always gonna be iconic. Nothing looks like it, nothing sounds or feels like it. So you know what? So many of you guys have reached out and in the comments said, you know what? I don't even own an S2000. I don't watch your channel for S2000s. I just like the way you do things. That is a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I am picky. I don't want to call myself OCD because I think that makes you sound a little bit crazy. I'm picky, which is probably like most of you guys. That's why you follow our channel. There is a quicker way to do it. There's a cheaper way, I'm sure. And I'm sure you could go to the junkyard and find used parts and that kind of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I kind of grew up pretty poor. My dad was very poor. He showed me how to make things out of nothing. He used to find old spark plugs and show me how to file the end square and put a V in it and gap them properly, just because he grew up very poor and it was hard for him to kind of get away from buying new parts. I keep trying to tell him, listen, this is a business. I don't reuse anything. I don't mind saving people money, but we don't want to use old spark plugs and bent nails like my dad used to. We want to do it right. I'm a little bit OCD. I don't want to use that word and use it lightly. I'd call myself picky. OCD kind of sounds like you're a little bit crazy, which, well, you know what, we probably are. Anyway, I think he's going to be excited with that. A few extra little things that we did to make it nice. If you like what you see, if you like our channel, do me a favor, support and click it right there. That is subscribe. It helps other people find us, helps our channel grow. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget, enjoy your cars.